From copepods, fish, to humans, these are the living hosts of Diphyllobothrium latum. So before we acquainted to Diphyllobothrium latum, we need to define first its general term, the cystodes. So cystodes has sensory organs in the scolex which are attached to the longitudinal nerves extending down the body. So the nerves are attached to the organs and the cystodes can detect tactile stimulation. So before we proceed to its topic proper, we should know its key components. So first we have to getting to know the dilatum. Second, we have its characteristics, disease cause and diagnosis, its life cycle, treatment and symptoms, and how we prevent and control dilatum. Diphyllobothrium latum is a tapeworm found in Palearctic and Arctic areas, specifically in fresh water such as ponds, lakes, streams, and also rivers. So it is the longest human tapeworm and can reach up to 25 meters long in adult stage at small intestines. It is also a zoonotic infection called Diphyllobothriasis caused by cystodes Diphyllobothrium latum. So it is the most common cause of Diphyllobothriasis is a tapeworm from fish or broad tapeworm transmitted to humans by ingesting a fish which infected by a larvae of a genus Diphyllobothrium latum. So it infected 20 million people worldwide in 1970s. And its body is composed of many segments, and each segment contains male and female reproductive organs. It is allowing for its high fecundity, so it means it is easily to spread in regions with poor hygiene and sanitary practices. So let's proceed to the first characteristics of Diphyllobothrium latum. So it may reach up to 10 to 12 meters long at young stage and 25 meters long in adult stage. So and it is continually increasing throughout its life. So second, whitish and yellow worms. So these whitish and yellow worms are dorsoventrally flattened and much more narrow than they are long. So third is they have no oral opening. Thus, kung matingala mo nga nung akong asa siya gakuha og or unsa iyang form of eating, it is through absorption. So absorption in the lining of the guts. Then fourth is we have the finger-shaped scolex that has no hooks and narrow weakly muscular grooves or the bothria that run longitudinally along the body or its scolex. Fifth is we have hermaphroditic. Hermaphroditic, it carries both sets of sex organs. So in other words, it is capable of self-fertilization and some are develop a second set of reproductive organs. So its uterus are beloved structure that loops extending from the ovary to the uterine pore on the mid-ventral surface of the segment. So through which the mature proglottids, what is the term for the complete sets of sex organs, releases eggs. And the last one we have anapolytic. So these species are anapolytic. So meaning that they shed their proglottids after its usage. So these eggs are unembryonated when the human's feces, and it can be embryonated when reaches water at good or appropriate conditions, and it lasts to 18 to 20 days. So we are now in disease cause and its diagnosis. So the cause of Diphyllobothriasis is by ingesting an infective larva of the latum, which is known as a pleurosarcoid. So kung yung tag pleurosarcoid, mo to siya ang second host niya, which is the fish. and also eating undercooked or raw fish such as sashimi or tasting fish while cooking. So what are its diagnosis? So its diagnosis is made by identification of eggs. So kung may kag identification of eggs, so for everyone's information, ang Diphyllobothrium latum is gapangitlog siya 1 million eggs per day. And also it requires thorough history to patients' occupations, hobbies, eating habits, and its travel history. So because of Diphyllobothriasis, known to occur both endemic and non-endemic areas as a result of globalization. So we are now in life cycle of Diphyllobothrium latum. So first we have an embryonated eggs pass in feces of definitive host. Not just a feces or the stool of the humans, which is one of the definitive host of Diphyllobothrium latum. So where ang step number 1 is belong sa diagnostic stage. Second, we have eggs embryonated in water. So ma-embryonate ang eggs under appropriate conditions. So then ang eggs ani is magmature siya approximately 18 to 20 days. And then third is Chordacidia hatch from eggs and are ingested by the first intermediate host crustaceans. So in this stage, yield on conospheres, which develops into a Chordacidia. So the embryonated eggs are eaten by the crustaceans. And fourth, we have procercoid, or it is the first definitive host niya is mag-develop siya cavity sa crustacean. So in stage 4, so crustaceans are totally infected by the Diphyllobothrium latum. So in 5th stage, so when the procercoid larvae are released gikan sa crustaceans nga gikaon by the second intermediate host, usually in mga small fishes, then mag-migrate dayon ang larvae into sa deeper tissues, where dito sila mag-develop into plerocercoid larvae, which is infectious na siya sa dira nga stage because of its one of the definitive host nga crustaceans nga iyahang gikaon. So we are down to 6 nga cycle or the steps. So tungod kay mostly mga tao manggod is mga tamili man, so dili sila gusto mo kaon ng mga gagmay nga mga isda. So ang second intermediate host is dili siya mo represent as important source of human infection. So ang kaning small second intermediate host, or which is nigagmay nga mga isda, kaunon siya sa dako nga isda, so such as mga salmons ana, so to serve as paratenic host. So in other words, kaunon niya tong gamay nga isda which is infected na siya sa katong crustaceans nga na-infect yapon sa katong Diphyllobothrium latum. So ang katong Diphyllobothrium latum nga gikaon niya gikan sa isda is mag-migrate na pudto siya sa iyahang flesh. So in step number 7, so definitive host ingest plerocercoids in infected fish. So tungod ani ang plerocercoid is mo-transfer siya or mo-migrate siya sa musculature sa dagko nga isda. So kay dagko man jud ang mga gusto sa mga tao or one of the definitive host of Diphyllobothrium latum. So because of ingesting mga plerocercoids nga infected nga fish, so ma-acquire nila ang mga specific na mga parasites. So pamaagi sa pagkaon og mga isda nga wala na lut. So we are down to our last nga step. So we have step 8. so adults in small intestine. So in definitive hosts such as humans, so ang pleurosarcoids is magdevelop siya dito as adult tapeworms where it is located siya dito sa mga small intestines of the host. So ang adult nga Diphyllobothrids is ma-attach sa dito sa intestinal mucus of in the means nga duha ka bilateral grooves or bronchia of their scolex. So ang adult nga parasite may reach up 25 meters in length with more than 3,000 proglottids. So ang mga immature din nga eggs is ma-discharge siya gikan sa proglottids where it reach up to 1 million eggs per day worm. O muagi siya o dito siya musabay sa feces or sa stool sa tao. So mo-appear ang eggs niya sa feces more than 5 to 6 weeks after ma-infect. So we are down to its treatment and symptoms. So once nga ang usa ka definitive host is ma-infect siya, so the possible treatment ani is to take praziquantel. So it is dosage ni ani is 25 milligrams per kilograms, noted to be highly mass effective against the Latum infections. So its side effects may include, so ang side effects lang ani niya is weakness, headache, dizziness, abdominal pain, fever, and possibly urticaria. So we have also the niclosamide. It is one of the alternative nga medicine yapon siya. Pero ang intake ani is single dosage lang siya. So we have 2 gram dose for adults and also 1 gram dose for children nga older 6 years old. So and then the symptoms of this is we have the generally mild and can include diarrhea, abdominal pain, vomiting, weight loss, fatigue, constipation, and discomfort. And Diphyllobothrium latum is an asymptomatic yapon siya. So ranging from asymptomatic to mild gastrointestinal symptoms to severe cases of anemia as well as the luminal obstruction. So also we have to vitamin B12 deficiency, so also known as anemia. So vitamin B12 is ma-reveal siya peripheral nga eosinophilia and megaloblastic anemia along with vitamin B12. So ang Diphyllobothrium latum manggod is i-deplete niya ang vitamin B12 nga nasa imuhang lawas. So in this case, diarrhea is the most common symptoms following with abdominal pain caused by Diphyllobothrium latum. So we are down to have the last slide. We have the prevention and control. So the infection caused by this parasite may be prevented by not eating raw or undercooked fish. And also ma-prevent niya po siya by fish that is thoroughly cooked, brined, or frozen at negative 10 degrees Celsius for 24 to 48 hours. And also preventing the eggs reaching water by providing adequate latrines combined with health education. And this includes my report about the Diphyllobothrium latum. So God bless and keep safe everyone.